Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Jew Jets Show, and today we're going to be talking about how the New York Jets address the wide receiver position this offseason. So without further ado, let's get it started. Wide receiver wasn't the worst position on the field last season for the Jets. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It could have been a lot better, but it wasn't terrible. Elijah Moore had a pretty promising rookie season. Braxton Berrios had his moments. Corey Davis also had his moments, but did underperform this season. We were expecting him to be this wide receiver number one for the Jets, but he proved that he is nothing more than a really good wide receiver two, which leads me into my next point. The New York Jets have got to be in the market for a wide receiver number one this offseason, but not just any receiver, a guy who can make contested catches. But correct me if I'm wrong, because last season, the New York Jets had literally nobody make a contested catch. So guys who can make contested catches are going to be the players we sign, draft, or trade. So let's start off with free agency. So Davante Adams is a free agent this offseason. In my opinion, he is the best receiver in the NFL, but he also apparently wants $30 million a season, and if that's the case, he's going to be a free agent and never play in the NFL again. But he's most likely not going to get paid $30 million, and is most likely going to get money similar to what DeAndre Hopkins got paid. And I don't think Joe Douglas is going to pay a wide receiver that much money, especially whenever we have so many other needs. So Davante Adams, as much as I love him, I highly doubt Joe Douglas is going to sign him. Mike Williams from the Los Angeles Chargers is an intriguing name, but he is the Corey Davis of this year's wide receiver class. He's had some good seasons, but he's also had some pretty disappointing years. Now, his good seasons were much better than Corey Davis's good years, and he does have a lot of upside, and I do think he has a good chance to become one of the best receivers in the NFL. But keyword there is chance. He hasn't proven that he is a wide receiver number one in the NFL yet, and he's going to get paid a lot of money too. So do the New York Jets really want to take another chance on a wide receiver? I don't think so, especially after what happened with Corey Davis. And the last guy we're going to be talking about is Allen Robinson. Now, after a really solid NFL career, Allen Robinson had the worst season of his career. Had 410 yards and only one touchdown this season for the Bears. And you can't even blame the bad quarterback play either, because pretty much every single season of Allen Robinson's career, his quarterback play has been bad. I mean, one of the good things going with this guy was that he managed to have like over 1,000 yards every single season with terrible quarterback play. But this season, he just did terrible. It very well could have been a down year, but there's a good chance he's just not good anymore. So maybe the New York Jets want to take a one-year flyer on Robinson. You know, maybe we just think this was a bad year and he's just going to bounce back better than ever next season. Or maybe he's just bad now. So it just depends on if Joe Douglas wants to take that chance on Robinson. Now let's talk about receivers we could potentially trade for, because there are some guys who could potentially be on the move this offseason. So the first guy we're going to be talking about is, say it with me here, Calvin Ridley. I mean, there's more evidence every single day coming out insisting that Ridley is going to be traded, and there's a good chance that he is going to be on a new team next season, and that team could potentially be the New York Jets. Now, you're probably saying right now, dude, I thought you wanted a big body receiver. Correction, I wanted a guy who can make contested catches, and Calvin Ridley can't do that. And on top of making contested catches, Ridley has already established himself as a wide receiver number one in the NFL. In 2020, Ridley had over 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. In 2019, Ridley had 866 yards and 7 touchdowns. And in 2018, Ridley had 821 yards and 10 touchdowns. And in 2018 and 19, he was in Julio Jones' shadow. So not only did he learn from one of the best receivers to ever do it, he also kind of outperformed him in those years as well. So Ridley already established himself as a wide receiver number one. It just depends on what the price for him is going to be trade-wise, because he didn't play like basically all of last year because of mental health issues. So are those issues cleared up? And he's also up for a new contract after the season as well. So there's a chance that he's not on the Jets if we trade for him in 2023. So those are some things to consider when trading for Ridley. But if the Falcons are willing to move on from him, you would gotta think that his mental health issues are resolved, but that's just my way of thinking of it. And then we have Amari Cooper, who did have a bit of a down year this season, but he's already established himself as a wide receiver number one in the NFL. 6 of his 8 years in the NFL, he put up over 1,000 yards, and he can also make contested catches. But he also has a very terrible contract, and is, knowing Jerry Jones, he's not going to give away Amari Cooper for cheap. So it just depends on what the Cowboys want in return for him in a trade and if Joe Douglas wants to take on his contract, but I wouldn't mind it if we get Amari Cooper. Now let's talk about receivers we could potentially draft. Now I want to say that I do not want Drake London. I don't like Drake London whatsoever, and I hope and pray that he is not the pick at 10. He's slow and rarely got separation against college cornerbacks, and if he can rarely get separation against college cornerbacks, he's probably rarely going to do it in the NFL. Yes, he can make contested catches, and he's really good at it too, but if that's the only thing that he can really do, that seems like a negative to me. I mean, he's not good at getting yards after the catch. He makes the catch and instantly gets tackles. I mean, that's the thing with Drake London. So obviously the players I like in this year's draft are Treylon Burks and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's not a big body, but he has an insane broad jump. He's probably going to jump out the NFL Combine, break records for the broad jump this year. Wouldn't surprise me if he did, and if he does, I called it first. But I mean, he can just jump really high, so he can make those contested catches, and Treylon Burks has the size. Both are really fast. Both can get separation consistently. Wilson does have a bit of a drop problem, but I do like Treylon Burks better. But wouldn't be mad if any of those guys are the pick at 10. But anyway, that is all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed, let me know by hitting the subscribe and like button. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jude_Jets for more content. You can also check me out on Let's Talk Sports, writing Jets articles for them, as well as appearing on some of the Jets podcasts. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check them out down below, and comment down below who you want the New York Jets to add this offseason, receiver-wise. And I'm your host, Jet, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace!